I do think we should start with how you guys found Miles. Sev, maybe we should start with you. I know that this was a role that you had gone out to cast. You saw a lot of audition tapes. What do you remember about how Miles came into your world?
Yeah, so Ryan, when he was talking to myself and Zinzi Coogler, my other producing partner, he described the character of Sammy as a very difficult actor for us to find because we wanted him to be Discovery due to his youth. We needed a great actor that was non-negotiable. We needed somebody who could sing beautifully. Okay, cool. We could probably find that. They got to be able to play guitar incredibly well. I was like, okay. And then the detail that Ryan said that was always stuck with me is I really want a young man who's got the voice of an old soul. And I was like, man, is that even like a casting breakdown, like checkbox you could put? Like, how are we going to find that? And luckily we didn't have to look far because we reached out to Francine. And I'm sure she'll tell you guys, but we saw hundreds of tapes from, I think, multiple continents. And I'll never forget the actual tape that you guys had flagged for us. I was with Ryan and Zinzi at Pixar up in the Bay Area because Ryan and Zinzi live in Oakland, and we often go and work out of Pixar. And I think one of us was, did you guys see that one tape? And it was I'm sure Miles will talk about this, but it was a tape where it looked like it might have been shot on a 2009 iPhone potato. Like it was like really low quality, really, really dark. You could hardly see like what was happening, but you could hear the voice. Yeah. And it was like instant. And I literally have goosebumps right now remembering the exact moment when it was like, oh man, maybe this movie might actually work. But yeah, that was it for us.
So, Francine, you came in, I believe, before there was even a script.
Correct.
And the initial directive was find what became Miles.
Yes,
so tell us about what the process entailed on your end.
Can I ask, is this the first time you've all seen the movie?
A lot of people, yeah.
Oh, isn't it incredible? Aren't you just... Because when I came out of it, it blew my mind, do you know? It deeply thrills me, when people see it and love it as much as I do. I don't always say that. Ryan called me, it was, 2023, I think, in December. Hey, so I don't want to take up too much time, but quickly, Ryan and I worked on Creed together. And he then went off into the Marvel world, and I didn't get a chance to work with him because they have a wonderful casting director, Sarah Finn, who does their movies. So then out of the blue, we talked a couple times over the years, and but then I got a call in December saying, hey, it's Ryan. I'm going to do this little movie. It's not going to be a lot of money, but, we need you to, but it's personal to me and it's important to me. And the first time I ever met Ryan, I said, after I had seen Fruitvale Station and I came to meet him for Creed, I just met him and said, whatever this kid's going to do, I want to do. And I know you're asking me about the process, but I like my story answers better.
I like it too. I want you to keep going.
And there was something when I first met Miles that I saw Ryan in him. Mm-hmm. It gives me chills. But he's so special, the director and this young man. They're both so truthful, so honest, and soulful. And so we had put a worldwide search out. So the way I work is I first panic when I hung up from Ryan and think as long as I've been doing this, I can't do it. Okay, I got to do it. I can't do it. I lose my mind, and then we dig in. And then we put the calls out everywhere, and I drive everybody crazy. What clubs? Did we call, this club in Atlanta and, all over the place? And we got the word out. And we had heard, there was nothing special. We had heard about just a kid who's, opening for her. So we said, tape him. We'll just say to anybody, tape. It wasn't like, I got this big build-up at all. And as we were getting, and I think thousands of tapes, he shows up. And the first thing we did was have them sing. And I tell you, I don't know how, I have to get the quote of Ryan, but it was like there was, he was in the dark. Where the hell did you do this? In your basement?
It was in the
Basement.
I had a ring light. I thought I was doing something.
I tell you, this is all the truth. And it's this dark, you can barely see the kid. And I'm like, you know, and then this voice comes out. Yeah. And then they saw it, we sent it, and then you can talk about your process. And then we flew, no, then we had you read the next time.
Yeah. I read. I first got it was the sides first, the opening scene in the plantation.
I think you sang first.
Yeah,
so
I
then,
sang first.
and then we
Yeah,
said, come
sang
back.
first. Come back, got the call back. Then they sent the sides.
Because then I panicked again. Oh, shit, he's not going to be able to act. He can just sing. Shit. Could you lighten up the room where you're going to read so we can see you?
Right. Right, I remember now. Yes. So I did that, sent that back. Then maybe like a couple weeks later, I got a call. All of it just happened like so fast. Like I got a call back and they said, we want to fly you out to LA to do an in-person audition. And I was like, cool. So like once it got to that point, I was like, this is weird. Like something like this.
Wait, how old were you then? Were you 18?
I was 18, yeah.
18.
I was 18 at the time.
18 and never auditioned before. So didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, that was my first self-tape. So
Wait,
cut me a little slack.
since you're all a lot of actors here, you don't even need light. Do you know what I mean yourself?
It's true.
That's the thing you're going to learn.
This is a revelatory story.
Right.
That's,
Okay, go ahead.
So I fly out, and then now I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it just feels like surreal. It doesn't feel like it's really happening. So I'm like,
Wait, didn't your mother come with
my mom
you?
flew out with me. Yep, just me and my mom. We flew out. I learned.
I'm sorry. She's a gospel
Yeah.
singer.
Yeah.
Both parents, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. So I learned a little bit of Bring It Home to Me, and like I think it was Down in the Valley, on the guitar. I walked into the audition. I meet Ryan and Sev and Zinzi and Ludwig, and everybody's just in the room. So it's like a lot of pressure, but I'm like, cool. Like regardless of what happens, I met these people, and I can build upon that regardless of what happens. And I remember being in the room with Francine, and she can be very intimidating. And she was like, loosen up, play your guitar. She was like, do something, like
that.
you did. You did. And so I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just give it all I have.
Then you just started to sing.
Yeah, just started to sing, and I think once I did that, I think that pretty much saved me. I think that nailed it. And then they just talked to me about the process. I didn't know that they didn't know that I didn't know how to play guitar. So I was in there, and I had Ludwig. He started to try to teach me something on the spot, and he saw that I couldn't learn. They was like, oh, he doesn't know how to play guitar. Okay. So we after I got the call back, it was maybe a couple weeks later, I went back home after the audition, and I think I was at the mall somewhere, and Ryan called me. And he was just like, Miles Caton. I was like, what's up? And he was like, bro, I want you to be a part of this project. And like, I just lost.
No.
I'm missing something?
What about Michael B? Reading with Michael B.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm skipping steps. Okay. See?
That's the intimidating part. Yelling at him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get in the room, I meet Mike, just super cool dude, man. Off rip, I remember like us reading the lines, and then it was like some point in the audition, he was like, yo, pull up real quick, and we went outside the room, and he just talked to me and just gave me some notes on like just how to improve and like just what I could do better. And then we went back and tried it again, and I just felt better, felt more confident. And so from then on, I knew like, if I did get the role, like I would be in good hands. I would have people who would help me throughout the process. So it was amazing.
Yeah, Michael B. I just have to really, know how he really takes each of the actors who came into audition. Am I taking over here?
no,
The interview?
please.
Okay. How Michael B. like took care of each of the actors who came in and had to audition. And just want to make that point because he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't like, oh, show me what you've got. It's like, let me help you. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. No,
Yeah.
David, go ahead. Okay.
So we get through that. I fly back home. Then Ryan calls me and he tells me I got the role.
Wait, sorry. Didn't you also do a chem read with Jamie?
That was after that.
That was after.
Oh, yeah,
After I got the role.
I love the live fact check.
Yeah. So we did that. So I found out, and then I think you called like directly, like right after Ryan called, and we spoke a little bit, and you just kind of told me about, like everything I would have to do, and like just it's a lot of work that we got to do, but like we believe in you and stuff. So from then on, I worked with Beth McGuire, the acting and dialect coach, and I worked with Randy Bolin, the guitarist. And I had like 2 months before, filming to prepare, and I just tried to lock in and just do the best I could.
Yeah.
Wait, but you have to hear one more thing.
Please.
So the callback with Jamie. Let me tell you, the way you looked at Jamie. I mean, he's at 18 and she's 26, but you had the hots for her.
I remember, and it was like the Kimry was like, it was just me and her in the room, and it was Ryan and Francine via Zoom. So I remember like us like, there was one point where we read through the lines, and then Francine was like, all right, now you guys just improv. Just come up with something. Like, we just started saying like random stuff. Francine was like, ooh. I was like, oh my God.
Man. Incredible.
Okay.
I do just want to be like super clear. This is your first role. I mean, that's incredible. And I would imagine, just given the scope of the role, that it required like a certain level of like kind of figuring the character out and just kind of figuring out your own personal way into it. Can you talk about how you connected to the character, the more emotional part of preparing for the movie?
Yeah. I mean, once I read the entire script, I felt like I instantly related to Sammy. We were both the same age, kind of in the same phase in life, just kind of growing up and like just figuring out like, we know what we want to do, but we don't know how to get there or what's the best way to do it. So you have different family members, friends, or like outside people that are trying to influence you, or like you're just trying to just take different pieces of advice to make your own perception of how you want to go about things. So I instantly, related to that. And then I really worked really closely with Beth and Ryan to really help understand Sammy, why he does the things he does, what's his motivation. And that really helped me to piece together the character.
Yeah. The whole ensemble really gets a chance to shine. I think sometimes in bigger movies, you can feel actors getting lost. And one of my favorite things about this movie is it feels like everyone that Francine put together for this movie gets a chance to shine. So, Sev, I'm going to use that to maybe ask you about how you, Ryan, Zinzi, and Francine approach kind of the scale of the project and thought about casting through those terms to really allow an ensemble to shine in a movie that also felt big and really sweeping at times.
Oh man, definitely. And all of that credit goes to Ryan for the script that he wrote, because right from the beginning you could read the script and point to any particular character and say that's my favorite character. Mm-hmm. He really humanizes every single person in the story. I mean, and it's a rare movie that I feel like there's not a single bad performance. Like everyone is just so good in it, down to even the day players. Shout out Megan to our local casting director and Nola. But when we started off the movie, like any movie, you're kind of like learning what the movie's going to be along the way. I think at the very, very beginning, like Francine mentioned, we were thinking it might be kind of small. Like, it takes place in one day. It's mostly one location. Cool. There's no vibranium in this one. So like, that's good. Like it felt like we were kind of taking on something smaller. So I think when we reached out to Francine, we were like, hey, this is a low budget movie. You done a ride with us, but.
Can I just say one thing, which I don't know if they're interested in?
I think they will be.
Yeah. So when I started this, Ryan said it was just a small little movie, which means you're not going to get paid much. Okay. And I adored this man and just knew how gifted he was, and I was just like, I'm in, whatever. Okay, And then everything happened where studios were just bidding for it, and the budget went up, and one day, probably 3 months in, when we're almost about to start shooting, I get a call from this man and says, we realized that you were working for very low, a low amount of money, and we want to pay you. Proximity wants to make sure you get what your price is, because the budget went up. It has never happened to me before. Never happened to me before. And I think that says who Proximity, the company, is, and Ryan, Zinzi, and Sev.
Thanks, Francine. Thanks for saying that. I do feel like with all the incredible actors you gifted us with, we still feel like we underpaid you. So thank you for that. and I was saying before, by the way, in producing school, they tell us to never do that. It was no, of course. But, I mean, it was... This cast is so beautiful, man. I mean, Miles, we have Lily, who's incredible, man. I mean, you guys just saw the film. Omar Benson Miller, the range that man gave us, oh my goodness. I mean, of course, Jack O'Connell as Remick. I mean, it's literally incredible.
But I know, I have so many stories. But the thing is, it's because of Ryan, and because in another director's hands, he made, I've said this in an interview before, but I'm going to say it again, that he sees you. And he sees, I'm going to cry, he sees your potential, and he sees what Jamie can do, which Jamie, I had been auditioning her forever since, or Juilliard, and small parts, and, I don't know, the girlfriend, and Miles and Wumi. I mean, everyone shines because of Ryan, because he sees, he lets you fly, and he's going to catch you if you fall. And so I just feel very deeply that I did do we worked well together, but when actors are in the hands of a great director, that's when you can do your best.
We got a couple of questions from the audience. The first is for you, Miles, from Janine, who asks what it was like to work with Ryan. I'm really curious, even just kind of specifically once you were on set, what your relationship with him was like, even scene to scene.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan is such a dope person, man. I learned a lot from him just by watching, his dynamic and how he treats people on the set. And, every day he would just motivate me, encourage me. He would just tell me I'm doing a good job. I remember one time, this was multiple occasions, but it'll be times where it'll be so much going on. It'll be 100 people on the set, and he'll get through all of those people just to get to you and say, bro, you doing good? How are you? Do you need anything? How you feeling? So just his attention to detail and just making sure each individual person feels like, they're seen and they have what they need was just really dope to see and be a part of, and it was inspirational.
The scene when you mentioned that I'm thinking of, that I'm sure everyone was pretty in awe of, is that sequence in the middle of the film where you're singing. We have these, this incredible collapse of time almost in the way that all these forms of dance come together. Sev, can you just talk about the logistics of making that happen? Because I think it's a wonder too. I mean, it's unbelievable the way that you all pulled it off.
Yeah, of course. It is the single hardest filmmaking feat, of my career, of Ryan's career, of all of our careers. I mean, that was such an incredible endeavor. You guys just saw the movie. So we used to refer to it as a surreal montage. And I'll just very quickly run through a couple of the elements. It's a oneer, about a 2-minute oneer. We were shooting on large format IMAX cameras for this film. And those cameras generally are not used in Steadicam shots because the film is so large that the film is too heavy for an operator to safely hold. So we had to use a half a load. So we can only shoot about 70 seconds at a time. That meant that we had to shoot 3 different takes and kind of make it seem like one take. It was a crazy choreographed dance. We had an amazing dance choreographer named Akaman Jones who incorporated hundreds of years of dance into one sequence. And we would rehearse this on our weekends, on our off days. We would all come in. Half of us were wearing our pajamas, honestly. And we'd be on a soundstage where we'd kind of put tape, almost imagine a football practice. Okay, then you'll come this way, you'll come this way. And as we were doing it, we realized, oh, shoot, the music is not long enough for the camera to get over here. Luckily, our composer Ludwig and Serena, his our executive music producer, they were with us. And Ludwig literally had like a DJ setup where he'd be like, you guys need an extra 10 seconds? Cool. And he would literally do some crazy magic, and then suddenly the speakers are playing a whole new song in like 10 seconds. And on top of that, the sequence involved burning the, when the roof goes on fire. To achieve that, we literally had to burn our actual set down. Like, it was the last day of filming, thank God, that we literally, I don't know if you were there, you must have gone home by that point. Yeah, we literally burned the set and got all that footage, and I'm so grateful, the VFX of it all, the twinning Michael, it was an incredible feat, but Ryan, once again, it was in the script. When you read that sequence in the script, you saw everything that he was going for, and we kind of knew people would show up for the vampires, for the, Michael B. Jordan ×2. We knew that was going to be a draw, but we had a feeling that people would walk away from the movie having remembered that moment, like where they were in that theater or in the screening room when they saw that for the first time.
Miles, what do you remember about shooting that sequence?
Yeah, I remember. The first thing I remember is like working with Ludwig on the music for it. So I remember him playing me the song. It was written by Raphael Sadiq, and I remember him playing it for me and like just being like, wow, like it's a dope song. This captures everything Sammy's trying to say. So it was helpful for the character for me to hear that song, and then they showed me, I think they made like an animation of the montage and how it would work. So I wasn't a part of like all the rehearsals and stuff. I just had to stand in the middle and play the guitar. So my job was fairly easy. But once I got there and I saw it and I saw all the dancers and like the ancestors and the instruments, I was just blown away. And it was really dope to be a part of.
Yeah, you can just feel the energy, I feel like, of the filmmaking on that day. Francine, within this ensemble, as you mentioned, many stories, was there one role that was maybe challenging to cast or that went in a direction you didn't expect that you want to talk about?
I don't know. They're all always hard. They're always, nothing's easy. I would say besides Miles, but what was very satisfying is a couple things. Ryan had spoken about Buddy Guy and how getting him in the movie would be just something personally he and his family had always, be a dream. But, we looked for other people because Buddy Guy is probably 90 or older, 80s, 90s, and Ryan didn't care. And we flew to Chicago, the two of us, and we went to his club, and maybe he's 94 now. And that was one of the most memorable days of my life, going to Buddy Guy's and him playing playing a little bit of music and then him reading. And it was difficult for Buddy, I have to say, to memorize the lines. I'm talking about Ryan too much. He's going to get a big head, I think. But he believed, and I don't know another director who would have said, I'm going to make this happen.
You guys want to hear a crazy story about Buddy?
Please.
I don't even know if you know this. We shot the Buddy Guy scene on day one of the movie. It was an interior scene, and you guys know how long shoot days can be. You guys are actors. It's like long, 12 hours, usually. And this man was with us, like valiantly going through. And it was one of those, it's day one. It's not always the smoothest day. So it was kind of going much longer than we would have liked it to go, considering his age, and trying to do right by him. And, we're like, oh my goodness, guys, we got to wrap Buddy. It's, but we need another shot. Or, oh, the light didn't work. Or we just kept trying to get shooting. We finally, and everyone was so concerned about Buddy, like, is he going to be okay? And we finally finished it. We got the scene. We were so relieved. All right, let's get Buddy home. So the crew was immediately like, wrapping up the lights, rolling the cables, and putting everything in the carts to get out of this little club. And then I suddenly hear music playing, and it's Buddy Guy is on stage performing. like zero tiredness. He just couldn't wait to start rocking and rolling because we're like, oh man, he spent his entire life up all night shooting, performing music all night. So he just gave a complete free Buddy Guy concert. And me and the producer looked at each other. We're like, "Should we wrap this?" And we're like, "Hell no, let's enjoy it." So it was amazing. So thank you for making that happen with Buddy.
It's Ryan. Because one more story.
Please.
Okay. No, I love this movie, as you can see from, and it's not what I expected. It was all on paper, but when I saw it, I had the reaction. I was like, oh my God. Another thing about Ryan and his producers was Jack O'Connell. Because that is a story. Jack O'Connell, I had used in Unbroken, and Jack, in his younger years, had some difficulties. I don't know what, it was silly. And it was hard for him to get a visa. So a lot of the movies you'll see Jack that he's done have been European films. And it was just the process would take time to get the visa. And we thought of other people, but Ryan always came back to Jack. But we weren't going to know till about 3 weeks before we started shooting his first day. Now, why that's special, the producers and Ryan, is I just did a movie where we were 6-7 weeks out from production, and they wouldn't do it. So that actor lost the job. They couldn't, the producers and the studio wouldn't hold out that long. It was 7 weeks before. And I'm just like, no, you don't understand. This is what, but because Ryan believed and has some, faith that Jack O'Connell's in the movie. I get a lot of don't I? In my stories.
That's quite that says a lot about
true.
him.
It really does.
It really does. Our next audience question is for you, Francine.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, me?
From Sarah. Sarah asks, do you follow a certain set protocol when working with directors, or does the experience vary greatly depending on who you're working with? Now, you and I have spoken in the past, and I know it varies depending on the director.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, what do we, pick a director. They couldn't be more different. I'm not allowed to speak about that.
If only you were backstage with us.
Oh, my goodness.
Aaron Sorkin. You and I talked about Aaron Sorkin a little bit.
I can't believe she said Tom. I'm supposed to say I can't talk about it. Ha, 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 ha. That's the response I'm supposed to give. But he's wonderful, and I love him. And he's one of the funniest directors, Tom, I've ever worked with. Aaron Sorkin. We just finished. He's just started to shoot Social Network. Oh, he's funny. I'll relate it to Sinners. Yeah. So there's Wumi, who I worship, who is in this worship, the woman. And I said, Ryan, I said, Aaron, I have the idea. And I said, she's in Sinners. Have you seen Sinners? No, I'm about to. I said, we got to watch it tonight. It's on Netflix. And, I check in at 11 o'clock. Did you watch it? This is at night. I watched it. Then the next day I tested him. Did you really watch it? Or did you just... And I said, okay, we need to hire Wumi for this role. And he goes, Francine, do you think I could just meet her or something? Do I have to just, I said, if you must. He said, I'm going to do whatever you say anyway. And so we went to lunch, and Wumi's in the movie. Yeah. And then, Gus Van Sant. He's a man of few words. You would audition. He'd say, thank you. Can I take your Polaroid? And then you go. And I can't tell you the number of times I've had to say, no, he didn't hate you. He just, this is the way he works. He always, there's a million.
You've worked with some incredible filmmakers.
James L. Brooks, whose movie's going to come out that you'll all love. I learned so much from him, and my casting is part, and Michael Mann, I'm going to do Heat 2. I'll tell you a quick story, and one more, just quick.
We are approaching, so this will be the
last. Oh, wait, again? Oh, no, then I won't. Oh, I'll tell.
No, tell.
No, just at the beginning of my career, I never thought I'd see Heat, and I'd see broadcast news or terms. And I thought to myself at the beginning of my career when I was assistant, I'll never get to work with those two directors because they have these brilliant casting directors. And now I just finished Jim's movie and starting Heat 2.
Very exciting.
What did Aaron Sorkin think about Sinners? What did Aaron Sorkin say about Sinners?
Cliffhanger there.
Did you like the movie?
He loved the movie. He loved the movie.
No.
Loved the movie.
I'm going to throw the last question to you, Miles. Given that this was your first role, and I'm not sure what your level of interest in acting was coming into Sinners, but how do you feel as an actor coming out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy to me to be considered like an actor now. Like I've been making music and like wanting to be an artist since I was 3 years old. Been singing since I was 3 years old. So I felt like once I reached a certain point in my music career, I would venture off into different things and acting and stuff. Because I grew up like the family clown and stuff, just always doing stuff to make people laugh. So it's not too far-fetched now that I think about it. But it's really like being on that set and being around those actors, it really rubbed off on me, and it just made me want to really take it seriously. So I'm excited for the next projects I got coming up.
We can't wait to see what you do next. Yeah. Miles, Francine, Sev, thank you so much, and thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thank you, guys.